My name is Deborah Grayson Regal, and I have been a professional speaker and a speaking instructor for over 20 years. From my earliest beginnings as a high school national champion in public speaking and speech writing, to my role today as an international corporate trainer and a visiting professor of executive communications at Peking University, China, I have been collecting and using the best tips, tools, and techniques to help people present with more polish, power, and professionalism. The skills that I'll be sharing with you are based on my own experience in instructing hundreds of thousands of speakers around the world. I hope that you will find them as helpful as they have, and I thank you for the opportunity to work with you. Well, it might sound silly when you think about how many of us get nervous giving a presentation, but when it's you that has to get up and give a speech, it probably doesn't seem silly at all. In fact, public speaking is serious business. It's how we make an impression and convey information. And even though making a high-quality, high-impact presentation can make us positively memorable in the eyes of our colleagues, public speaking doesn't have to feel as overwhelming, nerve-wracking, or daunting as many of us make it out to be. Most people agree that everyone gets nervous at one time or another, even the most experienced speakers, whether it's presenting a new topic, presenting to a new audience, or presenting to an audience who knows you well and who will see you again tomorrow, like it or not. We all have scenarios that make us feel more or less comfortable and confident. So let's begin at the beginning. Why do we get nervous? There are a number of reasons why even thinking about public speaking could lead to anxiety. First of all, we often fear the unknown, whether the unknown is a first day at a new job, trying a new exercise, or yes, speaking to a new audience about a new topic. This is an adaptive response. Our brains are smart enough to protect us from entering into possible enemy territory without thinking through the consequences. But often, our brain takes this response too far and starts creating consequences that are bigger and far worse than anything that could possibly or reasonably happen. Second, in addition to our fear of the unknown, there is our anxiety about the known. For example, you may have given a recent presentation that didn't turn out as successfully as you would have hoped. So this time, when you're getting ready to make a presentation, your mind reminds you of what didn't work last time and replays the audio and the video over and over and over again of your less than stellar presentation. When we start to believe that our past experience predicts the next one, we feel doomed before we've even begun. However, when we choose to be proactive rather than reactive by analyzing what went wrong and what went well, even if all that went well was you not bursting into tears until you were safely in the elevator, we have the tools we need to make a thoughtful game plan for the next time. And yes, there will be a next time. Here are some other common fears that people have. Which ones do you experience? I fear that I haven't practiced enough and I will sound like I don't know my stuff. I fear that I have practiced too much and I will sound stiff and stilted. I fear that I don't know who this group is and what they're expecting from me. I fear that I do know who this group is and I cannot deliver on what they're expecting from me. I fear they won't like me. I fear my mind will go blank. I fear that I will do something embarrassing. I fear that I will fumble over my words. I fear I won't make sense. I fear that someone will ask a question that I can't answer. And the worst, most overwhelming and self-defeating fear that many of us have, I fear that I'll look like I'm in fear. So, let's go to fear. What it feels like, looks like, and what to do about it. What does presentation anxiety look like and feel like? Some public displays of fear include a pounding heart, shaking hands and legs, sweaty palms and foreheads, facial tics and twitches, a quivering voice, a flushed or pale face. Some more private displays of fear include nausea, dry mouth, racing thoughts. No wonder we fear the fear itself. That's a pretty package of symptoms, huh? Now, I want to ask you to close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead, I'll still be here when you open them. Okay, now that your eyes are closed, I want you to imagine that you have just won the lottery. Not a little lottery like just $1 million or two, but the Mega Million lottery. And even if you can't possibly imagine that happening, I want you to imagine exactly how you would feel the very moment you realized that your numbers were a match. How would your body react? Chances are, your heart would be pounding so hard you'd think you could see it through your shirt. You'd start to sweat. Your knees would grow weak and you'd worry you might collapse. Maybe your digestive system would start to rebel. You'd fear you're going to faint. All as a result of the happiest, most exciting day of your entire life. Doesn't all that sound an awful lot like presentation anxiety? Exactly right. Our bodies have similar physiological responses to excitement and fear. What sets them apart is what we choose to name them. The heart-pounding, dry mouth, weak in the knees feeling we associate with winning the lottery or getting married or riding a roller coaster, we label as excitement. The very same heart-pounding, dry mouth, weak in the knees feeling we associate with getting up in front of an audience, we label fear, dread, or doom. So, one technique to practice that can help you overcome the fear of public speaking is to take the label maker we all have in our heads and put a new label, excited, over the old label, scared. Keep telling yourself that you are enthusiastic, excited, even thrilled to be speaking to this group of people. The goal isn't to hide your symptoms, it's to make that adrenaline rush work in your favor before, during, and after your presentation. Here are some other tips and techniques that can help. Stop thinking of your audience as your judges and start thinking of them as your colleagues. You are the holder of valuable information that your audience wants and needs, and that they are enthusiastic, excited, and thrilled to have the chance to get it all from you. When you focus less on what this audience can do to you, which is probably nothing at all, and focus more on what you can do for them, you are much more likely to adopt a posture, tone, and attitude that will help you relax and connect. Prepare, 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 but don't over-prepare. Prepare yourself enough that you will feel you know your content well, know what your audience will want to hear most, and speak with some degree of interest and passion. Don't think that you need to be able to answer every single question that could come up. You don't. Don't think that you should memorize your presentation word for word. You shouldn't. Get moving. If you have nervous energy, do some kind of large muscle physical activity to harness that energy. Walk briskly around the building. Find a corner and do some squats. Give some enthusiastic handshakes with some big smiles. And don't forget to breathe slowly and consistently. Adequate oxygen in your system signals to your body that everything is okay. Play up your weaknesses in private. Practice and overemphasize any physical reactions you tend to have when you're nervous. For example, if you tend to blink a lot when you experience anxiety, practice your speech in front of a mirror, blinking as much as possible. Once you have heightened your nervous reaction, you are better able to control and eliminate it. Finally, make yourself laugh, whether you meant to or not. Laughing reduces stress. And when you are relaxed and happy, you are more likely to think clearly and connect better to any audience.